and I forgot to turn the recording on, so let me repeat that. So today we are going to talk about leading yourself well. So when I say leading yourself well, what do you think of? What do you think that could mean for you in your Mary Kay business? Just showing up daily in your daily life, leading yourself well. So give me some examples in the chat. I love participation. So tell me some ways that you can lead yourself well. Self-discipline, motivation. Yes, absolutely. What else? Time management. Oh, that's a good one. That's for sure. So I love it. Okay. That is a big one. And definitely not easy, but some things that come to my money management. Yes. Yes, very true. So when you have a team, there's 3 ways that Mary Kay said that we can lead our team. Do you know what they are? 3 ways that you can lead your team well. By example. By example. And by example. So in order to lead well, you have to be leading yourself well. When we start building a team, it's really easy to get into the mindset of, well, what do I do for them? What do I do with them? How do I manage them? And honestly, some of that is more of a corporate mindset because we are not managers in Mary Kay. We are not managing people, we're leading people. And in order to lead people, okay, tell me in the chat, if somebody was leading you in any area, whether it's a job, whether it's Mary Kay, what kind of qualities would you want them to have? So give me qualities, but also give me what you would want to see them do. Like you want to know that they're doing what. So put in the chat some things that if somebody was leading you in any capacity, what would be important to you to see in your leaders? So patience, motivation, drive. Okay. I love it. So fair. Okay. Yeah, that's important. So not playing favorites. Discipline. Awesome. Promoting growth. Yeah, and sadly, I feel like a lot of this is missing in the corporate world. Encouragement. Okay, I love it. So if somebody is not leading themselves well, like if I'm asking you as your director to do things that I am not doing, do you feel like that is a quality of a good leader? Typically, no, right? So if I said to you, you should earn your jewelry this month, and then I don't earn my jewelry, that's an integrity issue, right? So how can I expect you to do things that I'm not even willing to do? So when it comes to leading yourself well in the Mary Kay world, one of those things is that you're winning. You're winning because you want your team to win, right? And I heard a training one time where they said your unit, so as a director, obviously this could be translated to your team, but your unit is a reflection of you and how you feel about yourself. And that's just really powerful. So, somebody who has a level 5 confidence, for example, is not likely to recruit somebody that has a level 10 confidence. So, and that it's confidence, but it's other things. So, how are you working on yourself as a leader? Because if you're on this training, you are a leader. I don't care how many team members you have, you're a leader. And you are Mary Kay to the people that you lead. Because a lot of people, they weren't familiar with Mary Kay before maybe trying the products at the party that you did or sharing the business opportunity with them. They probably didn't know a whole lot about it. Some people come into Mary Kay very familiar with Mary Kay, but most people don't. So, how are you representing the company? Are you making this look hard? Uh-oh, did we lose Kayla? No, we did not. Okay, my screen is just different. Okay. So, are you making this look hard? When you show up, are your papers everywhere? Is your car a disaster? Are you like, ugh, I made it. I barely made it. Like, my life is so hectic. Are you selling your position? Whether your position is senior consultant, whether your position is consultant, because really, as we're doing parties and seeing faces, you're trying to recruit people, right? So are you making this look impossible? Are you talking about how hard this is? Or are you leading yourself well? So really, even things in your personal life, they spill over to your business, right? So if you wake up early, that is leading yourself well. So me personally, 100% guilty of being the person that if I'm doing this 9 o'clock training, so 9 o'clock new consultant training, I'm waking up at 8 o'clock. I am barely throwing myself together. I'm getting in the car. I'm arriving at like 8:59 and I am just hanging on by a thread. And that is not leading myself well. So if you are leading yourself well, that means things like getting up early. And I don't mean getting up early as in like the hour. I mean early as in before you need to do whatever you need to do first in the day. So for some people, getting up early is 5 o'clock. But for some people, if you're waking up and you immediately have to do stuff, that's not getting up early. So some people, it's earlier. Some people get up at 4 o'clock. And really, running your household well is part of leading yourself well. Because if I'm not running my household well, if my kids are staying up until 1 o'clock in the morning and sleeping until 12, there's no way I can go to bed early and wake up at 5, which my goal is 5, because nobody's awake at 5 for hours. Like, honestly, even on school days, I don't wake Olivia up until 7. So if I wake up at 5, that gives me a lot of time to do my devotional, to have some quiet time, to have coffee, to really like get myself together so that I can show up and be the best that I can be for the people that I'm leading. So things like watching what you say, that's leading yourself well. So it's a really good habit to put into practice, just the acronym WAIT. So WAIT, when you're about to say something that you're maybe not 100% sure if you should be saying. So WAIT stands for why am I talking? So are you speaking to build somebody up? Are you being helpful? Are you gossiping? Are you complaining? Are you whining? Are you speaking negativity? So why am I talking is a very, very good thing to put in place. And when it comes to watching your mouth, the other thing too is, do you interrupt people? When someone's talking, do you just start talking? Are you so fixed on what you want to say that you don't even hear what they have to say? Interrupting people is a bad habit that I used to have too, and I'm really working hard on not interrupting people. So even like when you do share calls with me, somebody will be like talking. I'm going to listen to what she has to say because it's important to her. And I'm going to listen so that I can respond. Because if I'm just listening or if I'm just waiting for my turn to talk, I'm not really building relationships. I'm really dismissing what she has to say as if it's not important. So managing your words goes with, yeah, like not just complaining or cussing or, like speaking positivity, but also, are you listening? Are you a good listener? Are you interrupting people? Time management is a huge one. So just like the getting up early, do you have a weekly plan sheet? Did y'all listen to Kristen Sharp's $1 Million Message? I just was talking about it on the new consultant training too, but it was Thursday's message. It might actually still be up because I don't think there was a Friday message, but even if it's not, I have the link to it. It's on the Sparkling Stars Facebook group, or I can text it to you. It was so good. So she talks about, it's really time management and emotional management kind of all in one, because what happens when we're like, "Oh, I can't forget to pay the light bill. Oh man, I gotta go get groceries after I leave here. Like, oh, I can't forget that little Johnny needs a baseball mitt or whatever." Like, when all that's up here, oh, I can't forget to drop off Susie's order. Oh, she's been waiting on her order for a week and I keep forgetting to take it to her. So when we have all that up here, we are just a hot mess. Everybody thinks they have ADD. Really, we do that to ourselves. We cause it. It's our fault. And there is something that you can do about it. Now, for a lot of us, it's ignorance. I did not know what I did not know until somebody taught me. And I learned everything that I know about life skills in general through Mary Kay. I definitely didn't learn it at school. They don't teach any of this at school. It's ridiculous. If they did, we would have a much more powerful society. That's probably why they're not teaching it. But Kristen Sharp was talking about her notebook method that will change your life. Like literally, it is so simple, but it's so profound. And she talks about how to do a brain dump, how to decide what to do and what to delegate and what to dump. And hello, ladies.
Hello.
We started 20 minutes ago, but welcome. I don't blame you. You were along for the ride.
How you know she didn't drive?
I don't know.
I didn't exactly.
You said you were picking her up. That's how I know. She said, I didn't drive. If I did, I would have been here at 9:45. Tracy and Becca just showed up. So pretty. Look. Who's here? Monica.
I'm sorry, it's been a morning.
So I was just talking about how we need to wake up early and make sure that we have time to do the things that we're supposed to do, because that's part of your leading yourself well, and not being a hot mess and showing up like I barely made it. I literally was just talking about that. You're just gonna have to go back and watch the replay. I was not talking about you. Anyway, so part of leading yourself well. I was also talking about managing your words. And so how we just, as humans, we are born sinners. And we have a tendency to go to the negative. Like we just have a negative bend because we're humans. And so when we're leading others, we have to lead ourselves better than anybody. And so watching what we say, watching who we say it to, watching the conversations that we participate in, all of that matters. And so managing your words and also not interrupting people. So I was talking about that because part of managing your words is also listening well. And then managing your time. So then I said, did y'all listen to Kristen Sharp's $1 Million Message? Everybody needs to listen to it because it will change your life. And it's simple stuff like what she shared that makes the biggest difference. And it's also the stuff that we forget. Through COVID, I forgot about what she trained on Thursday. I've heard it before. I've done it before. It's worked very well for me before, but I forgot about it. So we have to stay constantly plugged into the things like the $1 Million Message, the mental bath, the leadership training, the going to career conference, going to fall advanced, going to seminar. We have to stay plugged into those things because otherwise our brain is just going to get full of junk. There's a lot of junk around us. So leading yourself well does cover a lot of things, more than I can train on in the next, how many more minutes do I have? 20 minutes. But just think about the things like watching your words, emotional intelligence. So when something happens, do you act like a toddler? I mean, let's be honest, there are a lot of adults who do. When your kids are misbehaving, do you yell at them? Because you do. So back to the whole, running your household well does spill over into your business. And if you lose your patience with your children, you're more likely to lose your patience with your team. So how are you leading yourself as a wife? How are you leading yourself as a Christian? How are you leading yourself as a mother? Because those things matter. If I was one person here with y'all and then I go home and I'm awful to my family, what kind of leader am I? Really? Right? Or if I leave here and I go to the grocery store and someone cuts in front of me in line and I cuss them out, what does that say about me as a person? If somebody cuts me off in traffic and I flip them off, am I leading myself well? So I want to raise the bar for our leaders. It's okay if you've done those things. I've done all of those things. I have lost it on my children. I have cussed my children out, you guys. I have done these things, but are you growing? Are you willing to grow? Are you willing to get better? These are all things that go along with leading yourself well. Managing your energy. This is important too. I need to start saying that, energy management, because really time management is actually energy management. We all have 24 hours in a day, but once your energy is gone, it's gone. So are you doing things like picking out your clothes so that when you wake up, you don't have to worry about what you're going to wear? You don't have to worry about what you're going to eat for breakfast. You don't have to worry about what you're going to eat for lunch because you've already decided those things the night before. Because they take a little bit of energy at night, they take a lot of energy in the morning, and they deplete your reserves. And so then by the time you have people time, if you're waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and you're exhausted by 9, you don't really have much left to give the people that you're leading or the people that you want to lead. So you're praying for these people, but are you leading yourself? There's a thing in there, so people might like, I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing a thing.
No.
People, there's people. No, not a bug. The door's closed because there's a spider out there.
Like a dog or something. I used to be in my brother-in-law's house and they would have a room where they
Oh gosh.
dog. It was a vicious dog.
Ooh, the chow just hunted across the room. Chows? Oh, I must be thinking of Pomeranian. Okay, so, all right. Leading yourself well also means, how are you managing your body? I know y'all probably get tired of hearing this from me, of all people, but are you sleeping enough? Are you eating well? Are you gorging on sugar and soda? You don't have to answer.
I mean, we're just being honest.
So setting a good example. So, okay, in the very beginning of this training, I was talking about the difference between managing and leading. So managing means telling people to do what I'm not willing to do myself, right? Managers do that. Managers bark orders at people. They're not really leading. They're just managing. They're micromanaging. They're there. So that is managing people. We don't want to manage people in Mary Kay. We want to lead people. And leading people does 100% start with leading yourself. So we talked about managing your words, managing your time, managing your energy, managing your thought life. Are you constantly telling yourself how much you suck and not doing anything about it? Because again, we all have those thoughts, but the difference between the leaders that are at the top of probably any organization and the ones who are not are that they do something about it. They don't just let it control them. They don't let it rule their lives. They do something about it. So what are you struggling with? If you're struggling with time management, what are you doing about it? Are you reading books on time management? Are you seeking out Mary Kay leaders that you feel like really have themselves together and they're, it just looks like they just have it all together? And are you seeing what they do, how they spend their mornings? If you struggle with emotional management, then are you reading books on that? Are you on the Mary Kay mobile learning app looking up videos that have to do with emotional management? Because pretty much anything that you're struggling with, you can find a Mary Kay training on. But even if you can't, you can find a book on it 100%, or a motivational speaker or a sermon on that particular thing. If you're struggling with eating right, are you just like, well, it's just the way I am, meh, whatever? Or are you doing something about it? Are you intentionally seeking out people who are doing something about it and, asking their advice? If you struggle with managing your words, what are you doing about it? So whatever it is you're struggling with, are you intentionally growing in that area? Are you just like, it's fine. I'll just be a director that cusses a lot. I'll just be a director that, sleeps until noon. It's fine. No, it's not leading yourself well. It's just not. And it's important. It's important for you as a person. If you're leading yourself well, you have a better sense of well-being. And if you have a better sense of well-being, you're able to show up for the people that you lead, right? And I have spent a lot of years in my Mary Kay career as a director who did not lead herself well, very much so. And, they always say, and if you've been in Mary Kay any amount of time, you've probably heard this. What is it that you have been unwilling to do up until this point? Like, what have you been unwilling to do? Have you been, and, sometimes our immediate thoughts go to booking, selling, recruiting. I spent a lot of years really frustrated because when somebody said, what have you been unwilling to do up until now? I said, nothing. I book, I sell, I recruit. Like, I am willing to do all the things, but then I was treating my children badly. I was treating my husband badly. I was staying up too late. I was sleeping in. I was barely making it to things on time or always late. So when I say, what are you unwilling to do? I was eating terribly. I mean, there's so many things that I was not willing to do that had nothing to do with Mary Kay, but it has everything to do with Mary Kay, because if you want God to trust you to lead certain people, you're going to have to lead yourself. You're going to have to. You're going to have to be willing to grow. So we've covered a lot. This has been a lot, I know. And I keep finding myself apologizing for being like stepping on toes, but it really is, we need something different. If you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, do you know what that is? It is the literal definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and hoping for different results. So if you want different results in your life and in your business, you have to change something. You have to. And it might be the one thing that you want to change the least. It might be the one thing where you're like, I'm just set in my ways, that you have to change. Are you willing to do it? How bad do you want to change? How bad do you want what it is that you say that you want? Do you want it bad enough to get out of your comfort zone in that way? Because I know we get out of our comfort zones talking to people, but honestly, the things that we do in our Mary Kay business are much easier than the changes that we have to make in our personal life to lead well. They're much easier. It is much easier to warm chatter than it is to eat healthy. It's much easier to make booking calls than it is to wake up early. So what are you willing to do to get something different? That's what I got for you.
That's good.
Oh. Well, I was talking to Zoom only because none of my leaders were here when I started for a good 20, 30 minutes. Becca is the good child.
She was. She's pretty good.
Kudos to you.
Yeah.
It's been a morning.
Everybody
It's
says that.
okay.
It's been a morning. Guess what? It's been a morning for me too. It is what it is. So self-awareness, super important. Do y'all know the Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Who's Maslow?
I've heard that name.
Y'all know? I bet Monica knows. I feel like Monica might know. I don't know why I think she knows.
Because she's smart.
She's been in Mary Kay for a really long time too. And it's not a Mary Kay thing, it has nothing to do with Mary Kay. But down at the bottom, so it's a triangle. So
Oh, what's wrong with those?
you love triangles. That's so random.
That could be your next thing.
That's what you don't know about me.
I love triangles. I love the number 8. It's my favorite number. I should share that.
No. Put it in the,
Okay.
put on the.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So there's 5, okay? And you can't really move up until you get you can't go up the triangle it's a pyramid. It's like a food guide pyramid, but
We
better.
don't like one.
It's a triangle. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So at the very bottom is physiological needs. So we're in school now.
That's not how you spell it, but what it means.
That's exactly how, no, there's an extra A in there, just kidding.
Okay.
No, you're just missing an R actually. There's an R between the E and the A, but you did it. You did good. Okay, so physiological needs is at the bottom. This is air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction.
What?
You don't have to write all this down.
No, it isn't better.
It's a lot. Physiological needs. So it's the things that we need to live, basically. Only when those are met can you move up to the next one is safety needs. So personal security, employment, resources, health, property. Next is love and belonging. So friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. Next is esteem, respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom. And then last, and this is one, so I learned in psychology that most people never get here. So this is the goal, is self-actualization, which is the desire to become the most that one can be. Most people just go through life. Like we just wake up, we react to our day. We are not intentional about what we consume physically, mentally, what we see, what we look at, what we watch, what we listen to, what we read, what we eat. We just wake up and react. We don't plan our days ahead of time. And living that way, oh gosh, what? Oh, you're just looking like.
Because that's what I do.
So living that way will never get you to the self-actualization. Self-actualization. And when I took psychology, I just knew, I was like, I'm already there. Oh my gosh, how wrong I was. So wrong, so wrong. And I probably am still not there, but I know for sure, like I was like barely at the bottom. And there definitely was no, the next one down is the self-esteem. And that was not there at all. So it's really good. If you look into it, he was I don't want to give him the wrong title. Who was Maslow? A psychologist. Okay, he was a psychologist, and he did a lot of research a long time ago. And it is really powerful if you look into it, but if you aren't intentional, you will always stay where you're just barely meeting the bottom, which is I'm putting clothes on my back, I'm putting food in my belly, like I'm surviving. But do you want to just survive every day of your life?
No.
No. I don't want to just build a national area. I want to empower women to be their best selves. I want the directors in this area to lead themselves well. Because anybody can become a director. Honestly, anybody can do the work. It's not that hard. But not anybody can lead themselves well, stay a director, be a strong director. Because in order to do that, you have to change. And so many people are unwilling to change so many things. So just be willing. I mean, it starts with, it's like rehab, right? It starts with awareness. Once you're aware of it, it's a sin not to change it. That's biblical. So I love you guys. We're done with our training for today. Had enough of stepping on toes for the day.
No, you haven't.
we have facials at 11. Well, Camila, since you know everything, are you done? So you're doing all the things.
I do need to make it.
Me too. I'm always talking to myself when I do these trainings. Thank you, Kayla and Monica, for being on. I love you guys. And we can't wait. Look. Directors. All these directors. Oh, I didn't bring my poster. Doggone it.
You should take that everywhere.
I know, but I was trying to sneak out of the house
Um,
and I forgot it. Okay, well. Have a great rest of your day, and I'm sure, talk to both of y'all soon. Bye.
So,